You're watching a Love Jack video. Hi guys, it's Jackie. I'm here to do a little review of my Get to Work book. You could call it a Get to Work book review. This is my first year doing a big planner and I decided to go for it with the Get to Work book and I really loved it, so I wanted to share it with you guys in case you're on the fence if you wanted to buy it or not, or if it would work for you. I'm going to show you how it worked for me. So first off, I want to say a big thank you to Elise for creating this book and also creating the community of other people that use this book. I love looking at the Instagram feed. On that note, also one time on the Instagram feed I saw that somebody requested more images of a book that's a little bit messier or not as pretty. So, promise you I'm delivering with that. You could tell my book is very well used and yes, I love it, but it's not that pretty. What are you gonna do? It works. First, we will start out with my top 3 favorite things about this book. Number 1, the 3 action items per week. When I say this, I'm referring to the 3 boxes on the left side of each week's spread. And for me, those boxes have truly helped me focus on the week and see what I have to accomplish and what is the most important. Number 2, the fact that the week runs from Monday to Sunday. I love having the weekend over here. It's amazing. My week starts with Monday. I like having a fresh page at Monday, and then instead of having the weekend separated like it typically is on most calendars, it's just over here on the side as something to look forward to. Number 3, the grid pages and overall gray color of the book. I like the lightness of the grid because I feel like I could use it if I need to help me stay straight, and then if not, it doesn't really get in the way. The same thing with the columns for the week. They're so light that if I want to use them, I can. It helps me stay in one spot or keep things together and nice and neat, which I like. But also, as I said, I'm not so neat, so sometimes if I go out of that, it's totally fine, and the gray doesn't interfere. On that note, I also want to say I enjoy when the months overlap and we get an extra day. This pretty much happens every month, and I love those pages. For some reason, it makes me feel like we get extra time in the world, which I know we don't, but in my mind, it lets me spread out my to-dos a little bit more and makes me feel like I have extra time to get stuff done. Possible concerns I think you might have, or I had going into this. I have the first version of the Get to Work book, which is the academic year, and when you flip to the tab, it doesn't go to the month. This is the stickers my kids put on there. It doesn't go to the month. For some reason, she had like an extra grid page in there, and then you have to turn again for the month. I'm happy to say that this is updated in the next one. It's amazing when you flip that tab and you get the month. So thank you for updating that. My other concern was the type of pen. So this is my favorite pen. It's the Ultra Fine Point Sharpie, and it has a little black on the edge because the tip is different. That pen does not work for me in this book. I know Elise has showed like how it goes through, and to some people it doesn't matter, and to me it bothers me. When I turn to that next month and I see the writing come through, I don't know, it doesn't feel as clean. Like I could see what we did last week and I like a completely clean slate. To correct this, or to get past this, because I don't need to use a pen all the time, I found that a regular ballpoint pen works, like this Love Jack one. I really like using these pens, which are the Stradler Tri-Plus Fine Liner. They come in all different colors. They're the marker version. I think there's a couple other ones, but again, like the tip is different. At the store there are 2 different options, and I like this one. Also, these Papermate Flare pens I think work well and don't really bleed through, or at least it doesn't bother me. And I like that they come in all different colors, so that's been my solution. Mainly, most of the time I just use the regular ballpoint pen, and then sometimes if I'm feeling creative I use the color pens. My other concern in the beginning was like it's very heavy, so when I take it to the coffee shop to work, it like weighs on me a little bit, and I thought like, oh man, what could the solution to this be? And then I saw on Instagram, the reason she sells them unbound is because you could get them unbound and then just take, say, a month or 2 to your local copy shop, just have them bind it separately. So then instead of having this big bulky thing, you'll have a couple smaller versions, but it's the same layout and everything. So I didn't do that for next year because I didn't figure that out, but I may try it because I think that's really smart, because that's a negative and that would be the solution. On to the way I use this and my plan for the future. So my number 1 use of my Get to Work book is my daily to-dos. I like listing them. I like that the whole week is in one spread and I could see what I didn't finish on Monday and not have to rewrite it again. Although sometimes I do rewrite it just so I can cross it off. And I love checking things off the list. So the 2 ways I've done that is, I read somewhere, to cross things off the list with a highlighter instead of crossing them off with a pen. And I really like that. So you could see, like, it makes you happy when you look at the page and it's almost all yellow. I also really enjoy using an orange highlighter. Orange makes me happy, so that's cool. And then I had a moment where I got these Artist Loft watercolor set that was like all over my Instagram feed. And instead of using the highlighter, I would use the watercolors. It was just kind of like a calming. I would, instead of just crossing off lists and next, it was like, oh, look what I've done. Okay, let me take a moment and breathe and stop being crazy. The second way I've been really using this book is at the beginning of the month to write down my goals for the whole month. Now, I typically use that page I was talking about that doubles up when the month overlaps, but she also has these really great pages where you can reflect on what you've accomplished and write what you haven't. For some reason, I just never use those. I think they're awesome and I'm going to try to use them moving forward, but mainly I would just use one of the grid pages at the beginning of the month or that overlapping page. The third way I use this, as I said before, is tracking things, which is mainly how I use the month spread, is writing down when we send out our laundry or writing down when I get my nails done. I like keeping track of things and knowing like what we have done. This is the perfect place to keep it all. My plans for the future for my next book. She had a couple more options. Last option there was only the craft paper, which I really enjoyed, but I did feel like the back page is lighter and like totally ripped. I mean, I've been using it for years, so that's why it ripped, but because of that, I decided to go with the black cover. Mainly to change things up. I also decided to get this Today bookmark that originally wasn't available when I first bought it, but it pops in and out so that you can put it where today is. Going forward with my book next year, the things that I want to try out and possibly make this even more enjoyable, this lovely book, is to use my Kelly Perky stamps. At the beginning of the year in January, she did this release with Hero Arts, who I love, and I bought almost every stamp that she made. I couldn't help myself. I even like bought it like in 2 shipments because I was like, no, I'll just pace myself. I'll get this one and then want this one. So I paid for shipping twice, which was silly. But anyway, I have a lot of her stamps. And I bought them and I was like, this is going to be amazing and I'll use them all the time. And I've used them like 3 times. So my plan to use these in the future is to stamp them ahead of time and use them as like just check marks. So number 1 is to use my Kelly Perky stamps. Number 2, in conjunction with the Kelly Perky stamps, I also am in the middle of reading this book, Minimalist Parenting. I absolutely love it. And one of the things that she says in the beginning, or they say, is the 2 things you need is to have a to-do list and have a calendar. And I've decided, and I've come after using it for a year, this is my to-do list. This is not my calendar. I tried to use it as a calendar, but it wasn't working and then I would forget things. So my calendar is my Google Calendar, so I will use that there. But then this will be my to-do list. And what she said in the book was that to kind of put things on autopilot. So like every certain day do the same thing of the week, or to just kind of set up a routine, like do laundry on this day or make the kids meals on this day or do your big cooking day there. Like I feel like if I do that, it will be less thinking for me and more like time to enjoy life. So I'm going to use the Kelly Perky stamps and kind of decide what days I'm going to do that, especially in the fall and the new school year. Oh, and then number 3, my plan for the future is I have met these amazing people that have these beautiful planners, which again, as you've seen so far, is not my planner. There was a Michael's Planners Day out and I met these awesome ladies and they formed this group called Happy Planners with Purpose in New York City. It's on Facebook and we're going to try to do meetups, and I just love how they use their planner kind of as like to document what has happened. And I feel like since I'm not using my months as a to-do list, my month spreads as a to-do list, I can kind of sit down and go back and look at what I did that month and put stickers and kind of have like almost like a journaling reflective time in here, which I think I will enjoy. And with the help of those ladies, I think I could do it because their planners were amazing. Also, at the National Stationery Show, I met this woman. Her name is Amanda Rose Zamp. Actually, that's her Instagram name. Her last name is longer than that. But her Instagram handle, if you want to follow her, is Amanda Rose Zamp. And she worked for the Happy Planner Company and was at their booth at the National Stationery Show. And her planner was also amazing. And she included photos in there. And it was really a scrapbook. It really was. And she had two planners. One that was her to-do list planner, mine, and then one that was like a scrapbook of her memories. I do like that idea of reflection and like enjoying what you have done. So anyway, that's my plan for that. All right, that's it. I hope this helped you decide if you want to buy the book, and also maybe showed you how I used it, maybe made you feel better that yours also isn't as beautiful as some that we see on the internet. And I don't know. Thanks, Elise, for creating it, and I hope everybody has a good day. Bye.